Hello, everyone. My name is Anna Baral, Associate Professor at National University in California. Together with my colleague Edwin Lee, Associate Professor at St. Joseph University in Philadelphia, we will focus on how to establish and sustain a sense of community in the group. As course instructors, one of our jobs is to facilitate the conversation among students regarding the topics and assignments covered in each weekly session of the Art of Science Communication course. The course relies on feedback, not only from us, but also from each of the students in the course. Therefore, it is important to build community in the group. When students feel safe, they will share more and be more involved in the discussions. Each person brings a different perspective, and listening to all enriches everybody. In this session, we are going to provide suggestions of how to engage everybody during the course. We will start with tips and examples of what you can do in the first meeting, which typically is used for students and instructors to introduce themselves and to provide an overview of the logistics of the course. Then we will provide suggestions of how you can engage your students during the regular weekly sessions. In the first meeting, it is very important to get participants to know each other and also set the tone for the rest of the course. Building community takes time, therefore investing some time early in the course will result in a group more willing to participate and engage. The instructors may start off with a round of self-introductions. Be mindful of the time. Introductions should be brief, mainly focusing on their background and their reason to take the course. This is also the time to ask participants to make sure that their Zoom profiles show their names as they wish to be called. For any prompt given, facilitators should clarify the requirements and also model what is expected. So for a brief introduction, one can say, let's go around and introduce ourselves briefly, your name, affiliation, and reason to take the course. Then facilitators can start and model the length and type of answer. To avoid long silences as the participant wait for somebody else to speak, one can set the order of participation in advance. For example, alphabetic order, the first name, or similar. Following the brief introductions, you may also do an icebreaker. Icebreakers are a fun way to make participants feel more comfortable with each other. A simple icebreaker is to ask them something fun or insightful. Facilitators should model the answers of the icebreakers. So that way, a humorous answer may be followed by similar ones from the students. In the background, you can see some examples of questions you may ask. But don't limit yourself to these ones, be creative. And the internet is full of ideas for virtual icebreakers. So just be mindful of time. After the introduction and icebreaker, it is time to get to business. As to give an overview of the course, you should also clearly state that participants are encouraged to provide constructive feedback and make suggestions. You may highlight the diversity of the group and how we welcome multiple perspectives. In addition to explaining what we expect from them, it is also important for them to know what they can expect from us. We need to clarify that our job as facilitator is not to lecture, but to facilitate discussion and exchange of experiences. In a way, it's a leveling the playing field statement from us to the group. Last but not least, remind participants about being mindful in time and making the meeting a safe place during each session of the course. So to bring the participants into the meeting and also to allow a few minutes for those who may be late, you can do a quick check-in or sharing. For example, how was your week? Did you do anything fun over the weekend, etc. Be aware of the time. So either limit the time ahead or say, one sentence only, or even, a gesture. You can also ask about something related to the course, assign readings or videos. For example, in one sentence, what was the most interesting fact or tip that you learned from this week's assignments? The rest of the session, whatever the content is, you want to encourage participation by everybody. After a meeting or two, you will get a sense of the group. In some groups, everybody shares, so the main task is to monitor the time. If some people share a lot and others are very quiet, then you can use different strategies. Sometimes you may need to call people directly, or just ask in rounds so everybody participates. When calling people directly, do it in a welcoming manner. You may also guide them with a more specific question. For example, instead of asking John, "Is there anything you would like to share?" you may ask John, "What do you think about what Mary said about this?" Or, "John, can you think of an example of case scenario in which," etc. If you have a diverse group, you may also highlight the perspective that each student may bring because of their background. For example, "John, you are as an undergraduate student, how do you see this particular topic?" And here are a few more examples. Time allowing, and if there are enough students in the group, you can place them in breakout rooms as pairs to share. If you do that, just keep track of the pairs so you can change partners over time. And the question is specifically to provide feedback to others. That's the time when facilitators should go last, because you want participants to bring up different points first. Provide positive comments after students share their feedback or comments so the students feel appreciated and valued. For example, "That's a great suggestion. Wow, that's an interesting point of view. Thanks for sharing." Even though a common suggestion is something that you didn't expect, student participation should always be appreciated. And particularly, follow up on valuable suggestions by students. For instance, if they suggest a certain topic, inclusion of specific resources, and so on, be sure to act on them so you show that you are listening to what they are saying. In general, be fair with a group member so everybody gets the chance to participate. If a student misses a session, be sure to check on them and encourage them to ask questions and bring ideas. Leave some time at the end to go over next week's assignments and highlight necessary time commitments. If time allows, open it for last-minute feedback or question. For example, you may ask if anybody has something else or new to share with the group before the session ends. What you do during the week? Well, you are encouraged to send reminders of assignment and use them also to stay connected and keep the sense of community. Don't hesitate to add a personal message, especially if it connects with something the group have already talked about during a meeting. For example, if a participant was looking forward to a certain event, or a student had an important exam or interview and so on, it's fine to make a reference to it. Also, it's a way to sustain this sense of inclusion. If somebody missed a session, be sure to, express that hope to see you again in the next meeting. So we hope that this session gave you some ideas about how to engage everybody in the Art of Science communication course. We have provided some tips and examples what to do in the first meeting and how to structure the weekly meetings, as well as how to keep in touch in between. Remember that for the success of this course, we facilitators need to assure that everybody feels welcome to share their insights and feedback. The time invested in building community at the beginning will result in a more cohesive and engaged group. Good luck, and thank you.